Inder Raj Ahluwalia.
Distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Karan Singh ji, whose knowledge of the Vedas and Shastras is almost legendary. Dr. H.P. Kanoria, who in my book is a true visionary. Distinguished members on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, let me straight away tell you that I feel extremely honored, extremely privileged, and extremely nervous to be standing here in front of you to talk about somebody who is extremely Mahan. This is the 550th birth celebration of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and I will, in my own small and humble way, like to hold your hand and take you in his footsteps the way he held the hand of humanity during his entire lifetime. You know, I feel that with the ages come the gods, and with the gods comes goodness. In the 15th century, when the Western world was being influenced by philosophers like Martin Luther and John Wesley and several others, a very divine soul named Nanak was quietly preaching a very quiet and a very direct gospel in India. Born in 1469, Guru Nanak Dev was not only a supreme apostle and deity who propagated dharma, truth, and belief in one God, but he was also among the modern era's greatest philosophers and thinkers. You will find it hard to believe that many things that Guru Nanak Dev said 500 years ago are now coming exactly true. You know, Guru Nanak was born in a middle-class family. His father was a shopkeeper. There was no such thing as Sikhism at that time. And he, for no reason, explicitly decided one day that he would, rather than tending to his family business, start traveling. And he traveled for half his life. His travels are now known all over the world as Udasis. He made 5 major journeys in the world. I'm a travel writer by profession, but I'm not talking about his travels because of that. But I would like to talk about his travels because from his travels came all the wisdom that he shared with humanity. The Guru's preaching and his teaching is very, very relevant to the world today, especially to India today. History records that Guru Nanak was the second most traveled person in the world in his era. He is said to have traveled about 28,000 kilometers on foot. The only man who had traveled more than him was a Moroccan called Ibn Battuta, who actually traveled for trade. But Guru Nanak traveled simply because, as he said, he wanted to learn and love. To even contemplate following in his footsteps is very lofty, but like all true gurus, he made everything very easy for his followers. He had a divine vision. There is absolutely no two ways about it. And his vision, the divine vision as I call it, had only one purpose, and that was to do some good to humanity. You know, they say truly that charity begins at home. And Guru Nanak began his charitable ways at home. Once he felt that people in his home were beginning to understand and were beginning to evolve, he started to move out. His travels covered all directions, east, west, north, south. He traveled to the land of the Hindus, to the land of the Muslims, as they used to be called. He traveled to the land of the Jains. He traveled to the world of the Sufis. He traveled everywhere. When he met some Hindu priests, he held meaningful discourses with them. And when they said, "Thank you for teaching us," he said, "Thank you for teaching me." Once or twice he was asked why he was traveling, why he wasn't just sitting in his home and welcoming devotees. And he said, that it is only through travel, it's only through visiting your home that we can shed our ego. So the beginnings themselves revealed the truth of the great saint. Guru Nanak traveled very widely through Asia. It's all recorded in history. According to the Puratan Janam Sakhi, which is one of the great authentic records of Guru Nanak's life, his 5 journeys took him to places like Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, Mecca, Baghdad, Kamrup, which is in Assam, Tashkent, present-day Bangladesh, Pakistan, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Southwest China, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, and the regions now known as Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and Kyrgyzstan. You can imagine how much he must have traveled, and you can imagine the fire in his belly that made him travel. In his first Udasi, Guru Nanak covered eastern and central India because he was very, very particular to first feel the pulse of his own countrymen. His second Udasi, he was in the south of India. The south and the north of India were part of the same country, but not too many people were behaving as if these were all part of the same country. I think Guru Nanak wanted to build a small bridge. His third Udasi, which lasted 5 years, took him to the Himalayan region. He traveled to the high Himalayas. The fourth journey lasted about 3 years, and this journey took him into the world of the Arabs. He wore the garb of Muslim saints, and he traveled to Mecca, to Medina. He traveled to hundreds and hundreds of Muslim shrines because he wanted to fill that gap in his knowledge. His fifth and last Udasi, which covered about 2 years, was actually within the Punjab itself because he felt that he now had a universal message to share. Why am I talking about his travels? Because Guru Nanak Dev need not have traveled, as I said. He had a business to step into, but that quest, that fire, took him traveling. And some of the things that came out of his travel are extremely noteworthy, which I want to share with you. The Honorable Dr. Karan Singh mentioned so many interesting things in his keynote address, but 3 of them are here in my little paper on Guru Nanak: gender equality, respect for other religions, and respect and preservation of the environment. Very few people in the world know that Guru Nanak Dev was probably the first environmentalist in the world because he said 2 things: save water, don't cut trees. Just imagine the accuracy. He spoke about the Big Bang Theory. Obviously, he didn't use those words, but when he said that don't take everything for granted, what he said is being echoed today by the scientists. Very, very significantly, and I repeat, very, very significantly, he said, be kind to women. Do not ill-treat women. Now, it's a sad reflection that in a country like India, which I believe is a stupendous civilization, we all know the crimes being perpetuated against women. But Guru Nanak's voice was very shrill and very distinct when he said, love women. Your mother is a woman. Your sisters are women. Guru Nanak Dev started the concept of langar. All of you who have visited gurdwaras anywhere in the world know about the concept of langar. It was started by Guru Nanak Dev. But it was not started just to serve food. It was started with a simple belief that if you have 2 rupees, give 1. This was perpetuated by the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh, who distinctly said, I would like my Sikhs to give 1/10 of their earning to charity. When Guru Nanak started the langar, it had a very loose form. but it is a form that has now evolved into a substantial industry in all the gurdwaras. And I'm so happy to say that that fine tradition continues. Langar goes beyond just serving a meal. Langar goes to an extent where, God forbid, there's a calamity, there's an earthquake. Immediately the community kitchens swing into action. I think Guru Nanak Dev didn't use the word ambassador, but what he was an ambassador of humanity. He truly was an ambassador. But perhaps the greatest thing he said was, "Na main Hindu, na main Musalman. Hum sab hain Kudrat ke bande." Imagine the wisdom of this statement. I'm not a Muslim, I'm not a Hindu, I'm not this. I am a child of God. I often wonder why our politicians, who are, mind you, very intelligent and very good, I often wonder why they don't adapt a little more of this for the good of our country. India, I think, is not a country. Like Hinduism, it's a philosophy. I'm just a humble servant, but ever since I became an ambassador of Guru Nanak, I felt I improved. I'm proud to be a Sikh. I'm proud to be an Indian. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much.